And I gotta say, when this theme came up, I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Power, so much easier than harvest. At least that's what it felt like for me. Harvest, what am I gonna do with that? Anyway, harvest power. Nice one. Boom. Okay, I'm starting off with a question, actually. It is a quote out of a book, but it's a question for you. What good is it doing you or anyone else if you don't spend your time forming a concept about life and God and yourself that involves life being good to you, God being fulfilled through you, and you being happy? That's something to ponder, right? So that comes from this book, You Are the Power by Kennedy Schultz. Okay, and it's actually Unity that I mentioned him. Kennedy Schultz was the founder of Atlanta Church of Religious Science. I don't know how long ago that was. He's not around anymore, though, right? No, he's not around anymore. And I had the good fortune to meet the current spiritual director of Spiritual Living Center, I think it's called, of Atlanta, David Alexander. He was my absolute favorite speaker at the Anton conference that I was at a few weeks ago. Anyway, so it took me back to this book. I haven't read the whole thing. I just kind of flipped through it and find so many nuggets in there. And so there's a page there that has what he calls some rhetorical questions for you. And that's one of the questions that's there that just sort of makes you go, okay, so if we talk about in New Thought that there's only one thing going on, let's call it God right now, okay? Just for fun, let's call it God. God is all there is. And if God is all there is, because there's only one thing going on, then it stands to reason that everyone and everything is God. Not a part of, not a child of, not made in the image of, but God, full on all the time. It's just that we don't actually experience all of that allness because we choose not to. Okay, we choose to experience just a part of it. And so this question here, what good is it doing you or anyone else, and so on and so on and so on, if you aren't realizing who and what you truly are, if you aren't living your life as the God stuff that you are, as that infinite expanse of universe that you truly are? Who's it benefiting? Is it benefiting you? Is it benefiting someone else in your life? Is it benefiting God, who is just itching to fulfill itself in, through, and as everyone and everything? What's the answer there? No. Okay, all right. So let's talk about that a little bit. So this morning, after doing some meditation, my positive intelligence thing popped up that I do almost every morning. And today it was about conditional versus unconditional joy, and how vital it is for us to integrate joy in our lives. And so just a reminder about the positive intelligence paradigm, that in positive intelligence, they're talking about how either we are in sage mode or we're in saboteur mode. Sage mode is when we're showing up as. When we're showing up knowing who and what we are, we remember who we are, who everyone and everything is. And so even when there are problems or challenges or life is starting to feel sticky or cameras don't turn on, it's okay because we show up in sage mode. We show up as God and navigate whatever is going on as that. And then there's the saboteur mode. And they have discerned that there are 9 different saboteurs. I'm not going to list them all, but these are the ones that are sort of tendencies or aspects of our personalities, even archetypes, you could say, that get in the way of us experiencing our sage self or who and what we truly are. And so there could be perfectionism, there could be piling on your plate mile high to show everybody how awesome you are and get the attention you think that you need from external sources because you're not actually validating yourself from within. There's the victim, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's 9 of them, right? And maybe when we were little kids, these were aspects of our personality that helped us to survive and navigate whatever it is that was going on when we were 3, 4, 5, and 6. But at some point, we stopped being 3, 4, 5, and 6. yet those saboteurs stuck around. And so they will get in the way from time to time, and one of the ways to keep them at bay, or to sort of not sweep them under the rug or stick them in a closet or shove them in a box and think, oh, they're not here, because they're always there. But one way to appease them is to lean into joy. And so there's a quick way to do it, and then there's a longer way to do it. And sometimes it takes a quick way, which is maybe just focusing on your breath. Maybe it's becoming more aware of your body, a body sensation like touch or hearing something. Just really tuning in, because when you do that, you come into the present moment. And when you are in the present moment, you cannot be out of it. And as you're in the present moment, you're actually using a different part of your brain than when you're being pulled in what feels like a million different directions. So this morning, there's the, do you want to show up as your sage self and experience unconditional joy just because that's who and what you are? Or do you want to let your saboteurs rule you, where there are parameters and there are conditions and there are things that have to happen in order for you to experience joy or happiness? And so the question is, how do I become more of my sage self? How do I dip into that so that I can show up as my sage self, and no matter what is going on around me, be able to lean into joy so that I can navigate the challenges like the camera or traffic or someone that's bugging us with more compassion and grace. And so getting into the body is definitely the first thing, but sometimes getting into the body can't happen quickly, especially if we are really overwhelmed or experiencing a lot of anxiety. And so that's when we literally have to do something like get up and move our body, dance around, do some jumping jacks, do some push-ups, get outside, be in nature. But it kind of brings me back to something Glenn offered a few months ago, which was get out. And that means get out of the situation that you're in, get out of the mindset that you're in, by doing something different. And when you do something different, get into your body, connect with that sage part of yourself, get into the present moment, then everything falls into place and life is so much clearer, and it's so much easier to navigate even the most challenging of situations and challenging of people. So that was the first thing. Remember to be in joy. But the thing is, this also comes down to a conscious choice. Okay, because it's not going to be automatic, especially if the tendencies are there to revert to saboteur mode. We have to choose intentionally, kind of like Glenn said that he did this morning, where it was like, okay, I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to focus on this. And when I open my eyes, then something's going to happen, right? But he chose intentionally to stop focusing on the problem and what could be. Okay, and so it takes intention. Don't leave home without it. From way back at the beginning of the year. It takes intention and an intentional choice to actually experience something different. Which brings me to the Intuitive Arts Festival, which is where I was all day yesterday, hence a little bit of the raspy voice, and where I'm going to be all day again today, after we finish with Celebrate Sunday. And one of the things that we're doing at our booth is I am offering 10-minute 9D breathwork sessions so that people can just experience the power that they have within them, the power that they are to transform how they feel simply through intentional breath. And so what struck me yesterday was like, this is a perfect illustration of how unaware sometimes people can be that they have this power within them. And not just that they have this power within them, that they are this power, that we are all this power. And so people would come and sit down, I would explain to them what was going to happen, how to breathe, and then basically just follow the guidance that is happening through the headsets. And so I would breathe with them, which actually helped me throughout the day because I felt so exhausted walking into that scenario. And so breathing intentionally and deeply and actively, for about 5 hours straight, that was fantastic for me to be able to connect and be in the present moment. But what was so lovely was watching people as they took their headsets off after intentionally breathing, after choosing to sit down and actually try this thing that they'd never experienced, and realize, wow, I feel so much better now. I feel so much more alert. I feel so much more connected. That was so intense. And even though there's all this stuff going on with vibrations and sounds and frequencies, it all comes down to the breath. And they're the ones that were doing the breathing, right? I wasn't breathing for them. I was breathing with them. So it was so exciting for me to see like person after person after person being reminded of how truly powerful they are. And so there is a quote from Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind. There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. But I bet if Ernest Holmes were around today, he would add on, because you are it. It's not something that is separate from you. It may seem like that sometimes as we're walking around in these, what some people call skin suits or meat suits, and we're experiencing our life and the different challenges and problems that we face from day to day. But ultimately, that is just a tiny portion of the capacity that we have within ourselves to experience more, right? Our theme for the year, there is always more in 2024. And so what a joy it was to see all of these people yesterday, just remembering that, how powerful they are simply through this one intentional choice to breathe. And what a reminder it was for me about how amazing it is to be present and to just be present for the person that I was with or the people that I was with at the moment, even though there was all this commotion milling around because there's so many people, hundreds walking through this festival from moment to moment. Now, if we go to the song, the meditative song that we sang, that entire song is a reminder of how powerful we are because the whole song is about I am blank. And whatever we put behind I am, that's what we're choosing to step into. That's the life experience that we're creating for ourselves. So when we come together to sing a song like that, that says, I am holy light, I am beautiful, I am perfect health, I am strength and love, kind of going back to the first question that Kennedy Schultz was asking, who does it do any good to think something different? To think that you're less than any of that? Who could it possibly benefit? It's not going to be you, right? So here's where you get to choose. What do you want to put behind that I am? What do you want to affirm again and again and again? Because every single moment we're affirming something, right? So the title of my talk today is The Point of Power. And like Glenn already talked about when we had our little discussion, the point of power is the present, right here, right now. And the reason that I chose this picture, I found it a long time ago and I really, really like it. And you can't tell because of the way I cut it off. But this guy is sitting and meditating on top of a bridge and there's traffic and a whole bunch of commotion and stuff going on underneath him. So this is like sort of high in the sky, above the noise and the din, but there's all of this stuff going on beneath him. And yet he is choosing intentionally to be peaceful and calm and connected, even with all of that stuff going on. And so this to me it reminds me of what it can be like us from moment to moment. We don't live in a huge city. It's not Toronto, it's not Los Angeles, it's not, somewhere in India. But there is a lot of stuff going on here, and there are a lot of things that can pull us out of the present moment at any given time. And it's up to us to choose what is it that we want to focus on. And the only point of power where we are choosing is right here, right now. And even as I say that, that's in the past. So every single moment is a brand new opportunity to choose, to know, to remember, to more fully embody who and what we truly are. Love, light, perfect health, beauty, never mind beautiful, beauty. That infinite dynamic energetic flow that is the very essence of everyone and everything, pure, essential, unconditional love. That's who we are. So the question that I want to leave you with is another rhetorical question by Kennedy Schultz. What good is it doing you or anyone else if you don't use the full power of your own limitless thoughts to stop thinking of reasons why you shouldn't have the best of everything? Well, the point of power is right here, right now. And what you get to choose in the point of power is decide. Intentionally decide what it is you want to experience and how you want to show up in life. As the sage, the love, the unconditional love that you truly are, or as those pesky saboteurs that will make all sorts of excuses of how life is just so much easier and better if we just stay here, what we know, what we remember, all of the stuff we've experienced up until now, even if it's uncomfortable and icky. The point of power is right here, right now. And ultimately, the choice for how you want to express as that power is yours. Thank you, and so it is.